Oh no. Uh-oh. Looks like I'm gonna have to restart the stream because the stupid orientation is locked. So I'll be back in a minute and I'll unfortunately have to start this. Well, I'm gonna let it get it. I hear myself there. So hello everybody. Welcome back to RS Trains. My name is Corey. It's like I'm doing an Instagram live feed here or something. But looks like I'm gonna have to start another stream because what's happened apparently was I went to go live and I told the phone like I always do, but it was saying orientation device or I don't know, whatever landscape is locked. And I checked my phone and no, it wasn't. My little portfolio thing was not locked. So I don't know what's going on. It's a little weird, but I'm gonna let this run for at least like 5 minutes and say hello to everybody and then restart the stream. So let me see if I can move the camera to a little bit of a better position here. But doesn't it feel weird doing this again? I haven't done this in a hot minute. I can't even look at chat because there's so many people in it. But let me see. So we are the first one through the door was Owen Tomlinson. So hello, Owen, if you're still there, my friend. We had Shadow Fans Lines, we got LGR, Anthony, we got a lot of people. Cam, we got Train King 79, Davon, we got Joe DNH 2906. We have the one and only Rob Wah. Oh, I have ya. We got Bugs 1-800 Clyde. Many of people here. Doc Hammer, Bowden Wilson, Mike Kisco Falls, Phantom Productions, Berkshire Mainline. There we go. I wish it was kind of like the old StreamYard days, kind of where I could see the chat pop up on screen, but it's a little bit different. But yeah, again, to everybody coming in through the door, it's kind of a high end goodbye tonight because I'm gonna have to start another stream because, as you can see, someday Rundays should be like this, but it says orientation is locked. Rotate device back. So obviously this is not an enjoyable format for running trains. Again, if this was Instagram Live and I'm going to cry about a celebrity breakup or something, this is perfect. But this is not what tonight's stream is about. But yeah, I'm in a little bit of a different corner tonight than where I would normally start things. We're here next to Littleville, the one and only. And don't worry, it's not like the O gauge layout is gone. It's back there. But I just thought since it was been a long time since I've done something, I thought we would. Carter! Hi, Carter. There you go. But yeah, I kind of see chat on here, but it's a little easier to look on the good old iPad where I can see things, of course, my chat thing and all. But yeah, I'm gonna have to restart it. But I'm gonna wait for at least a few more minutes before we do that and all. But yeah, I hope you all are having a great night. It has been, again, a very long time since I've done a Sunday Runday. And a lot's happened since I think the last stream I did was on June 4th, 2023. And it is now January 7th, 2024. So time does fly when you have just a lot of things going on. As much as I'd like to scroll through pictures and show you guys what I have been doing, I don't want to like take my eyes off the chat because I don't want to miss like many messages or anything like that. And again, I can see everything on the phone here. It's just not as good. So, and then again, if y'all have any questions, put them in the comments below, or well, the chat, and you get the idea. I saw one question right go by. I think it was Cam. He said, "Is this Lionel or Icho?" Well, you're looking at it right there. Wait, I got there. There you go. Good old Icho. Where is anything? Oh, they're all over there. But this is little tiny Littleville. Look how little it is. But coming around the bend, I guess I'll talk about what I'm running tonight. But real quick before I kind of go on an update as to what's happened, we have and I have the sound off on all the locomotives here because it'd be very hard to speak over sound decoders if they were on. But we have my very lovely Delaware to Hudson number 463. I always keep thinking 467 because that's the one I had gotten first and then brought it back and then got this one. So this lovely little fella, love him greatly. And then coming around the bend, it's my Delaware and Hudson RS11 number 5000. The track was being worked on earlier today, and I did not get to cleaning it before the stream here. So if you see any of the locomotives black out and die, you'll know why. So we got we have all Alco power tonight, and then have my little C420 in the engine shed over there, which we'll get to in a little bit. I think I'm gonna just kind of do running things and all once I restart the stream earlier. Again, I and how is everything going right now? Because on the phone it's running like crystal clean, and then I go to the iPad and I'm kind of like this. So is everything coming in clean, audio good, and all that? I because I can't really turn the because then I get weird feedback issues and it's not fun. Bowden says, I got a question. How long have you been YouTubing? So weird to think. What's it? We're gonna Artist Trains is gonna be come August 28th, I believe. The channel is gonna be 6 years old. Oh, ouch. So yeah, I think I'm pretty sure I have been on the platform for 6 years, but I've been watching YouTube ever since I was probably like 9. So, and I always wanted to do a YouTube channel when I was 9. So, yeah, I've been kind of, and that was the funny thing. For those who have been on the channel for a while and even watched the niche videos, there was a video I did probably in 2020 or 2021 where I kind of did like a 2012 flashback. So there was 10-year-old Corey, and one of those, I think, what I would do for fun was I'd look at the old HO scale layout, which I'm currently sitting where it would be, and I would talk to the camera, my dad's old camcorder, the Sony camcorder, like it was YouTube. So I'd be holding that thing. I was like, "What's up, YouTube? Today we're looking at my HO train collection." And I'd be going around. It was the worst thing you'd ever seen. It was shaky and all that, and I wasn't doing a very good job of even telling you what you're looking at. So it's like, and the locomotive is like really high quality, and it was like Buckman. So it's funny though to look back and see how far I've come, of course. But yeah, that is a good old classic one. Let's see. LGR says show some pictures from ALS in June. Unfortunately, I don't have any way of showing pictures. It's not like the old StreamYard days where I could just throw up whatever I want and then boom, there you go. So maybe if chat does slow down a little later, which I don't want it to, I want it to be roaring or whatever, but not spamming. Please, no spam. But it would be nice to show some pictures at some other point, just because again, so much has happened this year. But again, if anybody's just coming in through the door, because I see a few new comments coming in and stuff. Hello, welcome back. It's good old Sunday Runday. It's me, your boy. I'm gonna have to restart the stream in a few minutes here because, as you can see, the orientation is wrong. It should not be like this. Again, it looks like I'm doing an Instagram or Facebook live feed or something right now, and I'm about to show you like the most. Oh, here we go. This is something you would see on Facebook Live. Look, it's the Sphinx. It's a scale model. If I take my little Reading boxcar, I think this is about how big a Reading boxcar would be to the Sphinx. So there you go. But that is something you would see on Facebook and Instagram, not live, not YouTube. So I'll have to restart the stream to get it in the right landscape format, of course. But let me see. I think I saw Burnsy. Burnsy, who is this guy? Dude, the the O gauge stuff is over there, which we'll get to in a second. But it's me. It's ours trains. And I saw Heath come in, said, I heard a rumor that you were streaming again or something. Well, I don't know what this would be. I guess that confirms the rumor to be true. I don't know what goes on with that Corey guy. I don't know what goes on in his mind. Oh, Shadow fan says, can't wait to see Bob again. Bob is missing an arm and he's over by the O gauge layout. He hasn't had an arm for a while. I don't think he had an arm on the June 4th stream. Carter says, where'd you get the Sphinx? Well, I made that as a art project for one of my classes at college. It was a art history class, and you had the option of either doing it was like a regular research paper, which is boring. No, I don't want to do that. Or you had to create a historical, like ancient world art thing. So obviously, I did the Sphinx, as you could see. I always have had a fascination with ancient Egyptian art. I I really sound like a posh artist now. Just give me a glass of wine and a top hat, right? But no, I've always really liked ancient Egyptian art. Found it very mysterious and cool and all. Although that's not where my heart lies. I love trains. obviously, but just as a little kid, loved like Indiana Jones and oh no, why is that? Well, the one with the Ark, Raiders of the Lost Ark. I don't know why. So they kind of went hand in hand because, a lot of that is ancient Egyptian stuff. And little me thought I could go over to Egypt and find like all sorts of cool treasures. In reality, that's not the case. And but yeah, I thought I'd do that. And one art project I wish I could show you guys. I don't think I never posted it on the channel, but what I had to make, and I will use my iPad for a picture. I can have little me playing in the corner. But what I had to do, one of my big loves besides trains and partially aviation history is zeppelins, or well, rigid airships. I absolutely love rigid airships. They are so dang cool. I mean, think of something the size of like an aircraft carrier, the Titanic, flying through the skies. Like that is so cool. So for a 3D art class I was doing, I had to make you have to make a skeleton with skin, as it was called, and it didn't have to be like an organic human skeleton. It just had to be a skeleton like something like that with a paper skin. And the sample that the teacher showed, which I can pull up to you, and this is the only time I'm going to the iPad today because I really don't want to miss chat because I see a lot of messages going by. But she showed this, and for some reason my mind clicked like, oh, that looks like the front of a Zeppelin. So my finished project, this was the most like passionate art project I've ever done. More into these kits. Like I put more than I would into these kits, but this is what the finished model looked like. I believe it was 4 feet, and I made this giant Zeppelin. This thing, I call it the World Explorer 3, and I absolutely love how it came out. Let me see if I can find another picture here. So this thing is big. It might not look like it in the pictures because, this is what it looks like in the hallway. But I had so much fun making this thing. It's made of wooden dowels. Oh wait, and then I always gotta show the stern picture. I love it when you see the tail. Oh no, I caused a train wreck and everything's about to go bad. But that's what the tail fins look like. Oh right, the Guilford hopper came off. No, come back. It's not a Sunday Runday without the train wrecks, is it? Get back there. So let me see if I can just find a picture really quickly of what it. Oh, here you go. So this is what the skeleton looked like, and both my mom and my dad were very sad that I had to cover it up. But this is what the skeleton looks like, and if you kind of look up closely, you can see it was really complex. I mean, there was a lot that went into it. I I did it with measurements, but it was all I all just like made the schematic in one night and barely had any help on it. Mom would just come in and be like, "Okay, you're taking too long. How can I help you?" But it's I miraculously finished it before. Oh, I think I might have deleted it. Oh, that's too bad. Well, I guess I don't have it anymore. But I originally had my little blueprints, which is how I could showed you how it went from blank to blank. But the Guilford hopper came off, of course. But let me see. I got to go back up a little bit because I missed plenty of messages. Let's see. I see way back up. Doc Hammer says, "Do you have any Baldwins? If you're talking about O scale, I believe I have some Baldwin steamers. HO, I am just about to get rid of my Baldwin sharks. I have a few eBay locomotives to put on eBay. Oh, I have you to make up or make some money. So I did have some Bachmann Baldwin RF-16s and all. And they were good runners, but they weren't that special. And I really wanted I think they were Broadway limited ones, and then I got the Broadway limited ones, and they weren't that good. Detail wise, they look great. Functionality, they just started crapping out really bad. So I returned those. I was just like, I guess it's just not going to work. And I have plenty of DNH stuff anyways for HO. So I was like, I am content. So I'll be selling the RF-16s. But O scale, I don't have much DNH in, and I'd like to change that. Let's see. Have I missed? LGR says made a snowman just city. We got tons of snow today. I keep wishing I could be like, oh yeah, let me show you guys all the snow, but it's very dark out and you can't see anything. Hey Isaiah Hawkins, how you doing, Isaiah? Nice to see you. And we got Randall. Hello, Randall. Trainman that says, where's Bob? Bob's in the by the O gauge layout. Hey, Trainer 97 says, welcome back. Well, welcome back too. Ours blimps. Carter says, start classes back tomorrow. Wow, wish my classes were as exciting. I know, I'm having a not as fun winter semester too. But I think I do have a class that's called experimental video, which means I'm taking out the camera a lot more anyways. So expect more videos. And I'll get to the schedule in a sec of what I plan to do and then kind of update and then I'll restart the stream and then we'll get to actually running the trains because I know that's what y'all miss. Hey, we got Rose Jewel Railroad. How you doing? All right. Let's see. Mm. Oh, Burnsy's right. Says you should get some Lehigh Valley power given to the DNH. I know. I know. That's Oh, I guess I don't. So one of the guys I work with, Mr. Bradley Peterson, Brad has a crazy amount of all sorts of different power, like DNH relating and all, and he does have a little bit of Lehigh Valley, I believe, and some Brad, I'm pretty sure, and I can't remember the other railroad, but it was a really LNE, I believe. Lehigh of New England, was that it? I can't remember, and I hate it because I love that little line so much. But he has some of their stuff. But both, I mean, finding some. Well, actually, I do have one Lehigh Valley GP9, but a nice, scale Lehigh Valley like C420 or dare I say C628. Good luck finding one of those or something. Those would look really nice in O scale. Let's see. Isaiah says, "Doing good. How you been doing, Corey? Been doing very." Oh, Pierce Train says, "The legend is back." Thank you. And I'm gonna have to again for everybody tuning in. Thank you very much for coming in tonight. But just letting everybody know again in a few more minutes. Wow, it's already been 20 minutes just about. But I'm going to have to stop the stream and restart it to tilt it because again, this is no fun way to look at things. I want to show you all around, but not in the current way format the screen is. Let's see. Trayman, 1993, says, can you get other railroad locomotives for HO or just DNH for Littleville? Well, did y'all notice this? I just, we have fun here, don't we? Once I start laughing, man, I gotta take a water. So that is a good question. I have had people ask me before, why do you have only DNH and stuff? And it's kind of I guess a philosophy thing, whatever you want to call it. O gauge is like super, super freelance. I get whatever I want for O scale and I put it on there. But for HO scale, I like to have it very specifically DNH because what's happened before is I'd have other road lines. And although, yeah, it'd be fun to have them on the layout here, I've gone so into my mind of trying to recreate what a little DNH branch line slash main line would look like. It doesn't quite look right with other locomotives, so to say. And I do have other locomotives. I mean, I've got a Boston and Maine GP9, which I might show you guys later. I got the Pan Am Dash 8 and all. So I do have different stuff, but me being an absolute DNH nut, and look, I've even got the DNH painting behind me here. I just really want to kind of collect only DNH because if I started going with locomotives I like from other railroads and stuff, I'd run out of room on this wall or whatever, just like I have the rest of the basement. And that in HO can be just as expensive, if not sometimes even a little more expensive than some of the nice O scale stuff here. So, but thank you for that question, though. I have had people ask that, and I've been wanting to say that, or just why I've done left to right. Heath says, do you know what you want to be when you grow up? Well, it's kind of a tricky thing. Again, for those who don't know, I currently work as a passenger conductor for the Saratoga, Corinth, and Hudson Railway. So, that's being the guy with the suit on and the ticket puncher going around getting tickets and all. And it's a lot of fun, but what I want to do is something kind of in the graphic design world, maybe with railroads or classic cars or something like that. So, whether that be like, I don't know, doing graphic design for a railroad or railroads or maybe classic car or garages or something. I don't know, or car companies, kind of in that field. I've just always loved doing logos and like brochures and all. And what I really wish I could show you guys, but I can't, is because what I've most recently done, and I can't get into it that much, but I made a bunch for fun. I made a bunch of old Delaware and Hudson signs. So these would be really quick things, like, oh look, remember it's always take a sip of whatever you're drinking every time I say, I know. No, what I was gonna say was I made a bunch of D&H signs. So the D&H was not known for having many signs. So the signs that they did have, whether that be in yards or stations and that stuff, have become like fan favorites or whatever. So one sign I made was like, freight office or doing ticket stations or I don't know. I remember at Oniata, they have like the little safety sign outside the yard. It's like safeties are a thing or whatever, and it has like the reports 0 people injured and like a rack down and stuff. Doing things like that, or even doing the no trespassing sign. You see that one back in the corner over there? Eh, making that. I made tons of little signs, and they came out really really cool. So I'm hoping maybe at some point to partner with a decal person because I know there's been plenty of times before where somebody's asked, oh, could you like I've been modeling the D&H. Could you do X, Y, Z? I've always wanted to have it as a decal, and I started to realize, wait, most people can't make decals on their own, or well, a lot can, but it's very time consuming. So to kind of have the hard work done for you, or even a little this thing I made. Uh, this was an early work, but I redid a high resolution graphic of the little. I can't get it to focus of the D&H's no trespassing signs. So these are even I can barely read it. Notice, this is not a public crossing. All persons are forbidden, and you get the idea. Please don't walk on tracks, kids. So, but making little things like that, I mean, kind of looking to go down that avenue of graphic design, maybe. That's what I've always wanted to do. Yeah, LGR says get some CP locomotives. Well, you'd be sad to know I sold my only Canadian Pacific locomotive last year. It was a GP38. It was an X Sioux Line one, and it was nice and all. It was MTH HO scale, but it just didn't quite fit anything I had anymore. And again, I would have rather put the money into a nice D&H locomotive than a CP one. So ended up selling that one. Let's see. So where'd I leave off? So that was after Heath's comment. Carter says, get to relax at the Florida Rail Fair this weekend. We'll be having a Thomas prop display for anyone in the area. Very nice. Good. If you're down in the nice warm Florida area, not up here in cold New England, go check it out. Randall says, got some new locomotives since we last chatted. Been a long time. I'm sure you have. It's a nice scale train -8s. Okay, I was right. Bernsey says L and NE is Lehigh, New England. Love that little one. Bowden says, do you think you will hit 10K or 6K this year or next year? Well, definitely 5K this year, but it's not like the old days where I'm like, all right, everybody, keep pressing subscribe. Like, I'm just letting it flow. I'm not trying to push things anymore like I used to. But man, I tell you, wasn't 2020 a fun year? I went from like, I think it was like what? 180 subscribers on the GFW streams. And if George and Wally, if you're here, hello. But I think I went from 180 that year to like, I don't know, 1,200. That was so much fun just seeing things blow up. And then life started to happen where I couldn't be on YouTube much anymore. But I'm hoping to at least get to 6K this year. I want to put out a lot more videos this year. I want to try to bring ours trains, at least the model train, ours trains part of the channel back and all. But yeah, so hopefully 6K, 5K, 6K, whatever. Cam says, do you have any B&M high hoods? Yes, that is my little, well, not not like, modern GP38s and 40s and that stuff, but I do have my GP9, which is a high hood, of course. Factory high hood, they did. Although, yeah, they did lower them. I just don't know when. Like some of them, at least they chopped the noses off and that stuff. But yeah, let's see. CP out. Ooh, those would be nice. Those would be awesome. Let's see. So Cam says, how do you run all of these at once? Is there like all controllers combined? Well, that is just called good old DCC, and you'll learn all about it, my friend. But yeah, I just have DCC all off my MCE power cab, and I can control each train doing a different address on it. So this little fella right here is just the locomotive's number programmed to that 463, and listen to that horn. Oh, man, it's my favorite horn of the entire fleet. I love that thing. But yeah, each locomotive has a different address, and it all runs off of one big power block. That's like Spark Notes for DCC. It's very hard to explain, but there is a very similar system for O scale, or it kind of depends on who you ask because they'll all say something different whether that's the system you like. But O scale, not conventional, but if you're running a system like this, it's where you're running off of a set high, voltage, and all the locomotives run around at different addresses and all. So it's very fun though. Oh, he says Corey wears a suit for his job. We need to see photos of that. Well, shoot, I don't have any photos of me as a conductor ready to go. Although I'm sure, again, if this was like Streamlabs or something or StreamYards, I could throw one right up and be like, "Here you go. Here's proof. I wear a suit and a conductor's hat, and I have a ticket puncher." Yep, conductor suit. There you go. Bernsey says, "How come you have no coal hoppers on the layout? DNH." Oh, I know they were a big anthracite road, but it kind of depends on what part of the DNH you're talking. The Pennsylvania part of DNH, even going up into the capital region had a lot of coal. I mean, even today you can get, well, don't walk to the roadbed, kids. That's trespassing. But I'm sure if you look closely, there's probably still bits of the, coal that's fallen out of hoppers and all. But when you start to go up to the branch lines, it seemed coal wasn't as big a product because a lot of people, at least up in the Adirondacks, would rather be using wood to furnace their houses and stuff like that. Coal sure would run in certain mills and stuff like that, but you wouldn't see that much coal, I think. Like again, if Brad, who I mentioned earlier, is here, he's like one of the big guys in the Bridgeline Historical Society, which is the DNH's historical thing. But you would see coal loads and all, and I don't know if they would be on mixed commodity train or mixed trains, or it'd be a commodity train of coal. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see, but today, so to say, which is at least the late 60s, early, well, technically no, because if I'm running the C640, wait, no, dang it, I never get it right. C643, I'm pretty sure is what, uh, it's a tongue twister tonight. Even, I know, it's a 428. I should know the Alcos, but I don't. This little fella came to the DNH in the early 80s, I believe. So by the early 80s, you would not see any coal hoppers anymore on the branch lines in the DNH. I mean, most of them were closed at that. Most of those branch lines are like sold off at that point. But it's tricky. It's hard tonight when you kind of got a cough and a sore throat because once I start laughing, it's like, oh no, let's try not to laugh challenge all of a sudden. Let's see, where did I leave off? All right, so Train Nerd 97. So who's looking forward to see Big Boy 4014's grand return this year? I I would say yes, but weren't they? What was that group that was restoring? Oh no, I forgot its number. So our favorite Union Pacific Challenger, number 3985, was that it? I believe. I love that thing. It's so cool. But wasn't the group who got it was like Illinois, I believe. I think something like that. I can't remember. But whoever has that one, weren't they restoring that one to functionality? If so, man, I can't wait to see that thing come back. Seeing the Challenger and the Big Boy, hopefully, fingers crossed, together again, ooh, that'd be so cool. But I want to see the Big Boy come back to Schenectady. I live not far from Schenectady, New York, and as we all know, Alco's best plant, in my opinion, was their Schenectady plant, where a lot of their biggest and famous locomotives came from. And oh my goodness, I'd love to see although the plant's not there, the tracks that go by it, at least on the old DNH end, are very close to the old plant, which is now a casino. I want to cry about it because it's very sad, but that would be so cool. Big Boy returns home or something like that and have a little like community thing. I don't know, that'd be so cool. Because you know what would be also really cool? So the railway I work for, Saratoga, Corinth, and Hudson, what happened was earlier this year, and let me try and pull up. I'm sorry, I know I said I don't want to use this thing much more anymore, and I understand, but what we got earlier this year was a Schenectady Alco parade float. So this parade float here was built in 1937, I believe, by the Schenectady Alco plant for a local a World War One veterans group. I can't remember the group's name, but this is what it looks like, and it was numbered 759. So keep in mind during this time, 1937, this is several years before World War II, and this was what this looks like. So it looks like a steam locomotive, but it's a truck. It's a 1937 Max. So I don't know. I don't have a picture, unfortunately, of it, but oh, I do. So on this side here is Jack Raven, and then that's my dad there, and then I was there as well. We worked this summer, just the three of us, sanding and repainting this whole thing. So what an honor it was. It felt historically to paint that thing, But man, if they had, Big Boy coming back or something, or even us, we'd just love to bring that float back down to Schenectady and go into one of the parades because it was used as a parade float into Schenectady. And a lot of people remember seeing that thing in like the 40s and the 50s and 60s and 70s, 80s, 90s, seeing that parade float go up and down. It was kind of like, a town favorite, so to say. So we'd love to bring that thing back, of course. But if Big Boy came back, we can at least have our little part of the SCNH of our Alco paradise, so to say, go down and join it there. But that's what I want to see. I went on a ramble again, and I completely lost where I left off. Okay, so it was right about here. I don't know if I saw it earlier, but I think Cam had to head off. So, alrighty, Cam, thank you for swinging in, my friend. Oh, no kidding. Tri-State Rail Production says my grandpa was the train master for the DNH and Oneonta. Well, that one of their biggest and bestest yards. It's crazy to think how what? I don't think there's anything left there anymore, is there? Maybe like a siding or two, but the yard it used to be back in like the mid 20th century and even a little bit earlier once you start going to the 30s and oh man, I think it was when it was booming in the 30s. Man, crazy how just like Mechanicville, it used to be so big, and now these days it's just like a fraction of what it used to be. Base NCE. Oh, so Streamlined asked a very great question I always love to hear. What's your favorite DNH loco? Now, that one is very tough because there's a variety of different categories I could go. I could go favorite type of locomotive, like and I keep realizing my shoulder's leaning over. I can bump this thing over. So you can go like favorite type of Alco, favorite road number locomotive, favorite steam engine. So I'm just going to answer all three of those because I can't really choose specifically. But favorite steam engine would be any of the Delaware and Hudson Northerns. I love those things. For those who don't know what the Northerns look like, it's pretty much a mix between the front of the Polar Express, where you have this submerged headlight with no elephant ears or anything like that, and a Union Pacific Northern. So kind of take, you know, 844, Union Pacific 844, paint it kind of all black or kind of that gunmetal gray black and all, and give it a submerged clean headlight, with no number boards or nothing, looking like that. And the DNH Northerns did have the elephant ears on the sides, and they had the little marker lights above. That's what a Northern looks like, and I love them. They're so cool. And what I love the DNH did was they gave them these really deep, like ferry boat sounding whistles. It's gonna take too long to find. I'm gonna try though. While I talk about that though. So those are my favorite steamers. My favorite diesels in general on the DNH would probably be the RS11s, just because they were so versatile. You'd see them in switching operations. You'd see them on the main lines. Came in a variety of different paint schemes, but when it comes to my favorite specific DNH locomotive, that's a really tough one. I don't know, and it kind of always changes. I don't think I really can pin down that one, for example. But, anyways, though, this is what a DNH Northern would sound like. So, all the Northerns, to my knowledge, were given the same exact whistle. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know where to hold it to. So, this is what they would have looked like. This is at Saratoga, New York. So this is a YouTube video right here. So man, it gives me chills every time I listen to it. Oh no, I'm sounding like excited train guy. Oh, it gives me chills. Listen to that bell. Listen to that horn. But really though, I love the steam engines with the. Oh, shut up. So, but I love it when steam locomotives have those really deep, growly whistles, especially the big ones, because it just fits so well. Like when what I hate that they did recently was right before 611 left Strasbourg, they gave her like her mid 90s whistle, and man, that thing sounded great. But I love those deep whistles; those are always my favorite. But if that kind of answered the D&H locomotive question, there you go. Okay, so yeah, Conrail Lock 12 says Railroad Heritage Midwest of America is the ones who have it. All right. Trainer 97 says once again, Corey, if somehow, some way the UP gets trackage rights to bring Big Boy up to Schenectady, I will let you. Thank you for being my go-to news source, Trainer 97. All right. Let me see. Let me just make sure again I didn't miss anything. Doc Hammer says, I want to build rail speeders with 5 horsepower motor. Well, SCNH for some reason has become like a mecca of speeders. Brad has his speeder. We have the old Tahaz titanium mine speeder. We have the missing Rutland speeder one. I don't know what happened to that one. It was an old, I think like 30s Rutland Railroad speeder. That thing was cool, but it was just in such bad shape. I don't know if it got sold or mechanically is getting mechanically stored and fixed, but we have a lot of speeders up by Williams. So that little pa 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 sound the engines make is great. You can hear each cylinder going around. It's so funny. Rail Chief 74 says, Happy Sunday evening, Corey, and to you as well. Wow, it's 40 minutes just about. And I said I was going to fix the stream soon. All right, thank you, Trainman 1993. Have a good night. Oh, right. Well, Train King 79, if you're talking about favorite D&H locomotive, you're right. The PAs are super nice. Atherton is doing a D&H GP60. It's a legendary. Well, good. I agree with the Lightning Stripe being called or labeled as legendary liveries. That is a correct statement. Tri-State Rail Production says, I believe a couple of years ago, NS got a grant to redo the yard in Oneida, but I don't think anything came through it. That's too bad. Carter says, did you see that they fixed? Oh, oh, good. Finally, about time. Yay, Charles, how you doing? Oh, nice to see you here. Here you go. Says, hi, Corey. Well, hello back to you. Happy Sunday, Runday. Oh, so Bowden is a good question. Do you have any advice? Because you said you'd want to do a gaming channel about trains. Well, that was the kind of interesting thing I always wanted to do with ours trains. Look at me, I sound like an old man giving advice here. I need like a rocking chair and my pipe or something by on a porch. But what I would, it's kind of tricky with gaming because gaming I never really stepped into much. Although I am the correct generation of a gamer, so to say, and all that stuff. But I only had a little gaming laptop and that, and I never really got into it. So it's kind of tricky when it comes to this and all. But I say if you're doing gaming content about trains, try to make it kind of, I don't know, it's kind of difficult to speak on because again, I don't have much experience in it and I don't watch that stuff too much. So I don't know if I really can actually give it much advice on it, but I would do, I don't know, things that you would consider fun that people would find fun and entertaining, at least to the general rail fan audience. Whether that be like, oh, longest train XYZ or my favorite horns or my favorite locomotives or just doing like I don't know, completing missions on train XYZ in game. It also depends on the game you have too. What was that game? The Derail Valley, I believe. That was a fun one, have you? But it really depends on the type of game you're doing too, because there's again so many different, I don't know, avenues you could jump down. You could do like the, I don't know, the kind of comical ones where it's like, oh, derailing the train for laughs and giggles, or you could do the super serious, like, okay, it's gonna switch out a yard, or I don't know. There's again a lot of different avenues and all, but I would try to do what you really want to go down. And my best thing is try to get the quality of the video to be as high as you can. It's never fun to watch a gaming video. It's like 30 FPS and like 480p or what have you. So I'd try to focus on that and try to give your channel a personality as well. I hate that. Well, I don't hate. Hate's a strong word, but I've never really been a fan of the train channels where you never know who's behind the, or not that you have to know who's behind the camera, but you, I don't know. It's like a soulless entity running a channel or what have you. You never hear the person's voice. The videos don't have much, I don't know, flavor, so to say. So I always focus or try to keep that as a focus towards ours trains, as having to make sure I'm in the video at least at some point, or try to give narration if possible, or try to build a consistent theme too. Like if you're gonna do a channel, I'd always try to do, I don't know, I think because what I noticed with ours trains is I went too wide with it. I wanted to cover every single thing that's trains. And it's difficult to have a consistent audience when you're trying to do HO scale, O scale, rail fanning, live steam, I don't know, railroad antiques or whatever and that stuff. So I'd try to focus on a niche content of gaming and try to give your channel a little bit of flavor if you can. But that's kind of my very mixed, garbly ADHD feedback or advice for starting your YouTube channel and all. But good luck with it and try it. You won't regret it at all. It's always a lot of fun and it's a great way to grow yourself as a person. Look at the man. That last bit made me want to cry. All right, let's see. Oh. Real Chief 74 asks a very spicy question. What are your thoughts on the Pennsylvania T1 Trust? That no matter where you go, that seems to always spark a debate. Now, me myself, I love seeing a giant locomotive come back, especially, excuse me, a rare Pennsylvania one. But I believe this, not the sole purpose, but one of the biggest reasons they were rebuilding the T1 right was to beat the speed record. Wasn't that it? Or something like that. It's just a tricky part because I don't know where you're going to run it. It's just such a heavy locomotive, and it's already hard enough to get steam on the main line here in the Northeast. So maybe, I don't know, you could tag team it with 611 or something. But personally, I know a lot of people don't like it, but I always liked the T1. I always just thought it was a cool looking Art Deco looking train or locomotive and all. But I don't know, it just feels like there's going to be so many hurdles even when they're finished and that stuff. Hopefully that things will be resolved by then. But I like it and I'm kind of excited to see what happens. And it's nice to have our own giant steam locomotive over here in the Northeast. But the T1, just from what I remember, wasn't the best locomotive. That's why you just don't see any of them around today, because I can't remember what problems they might have been plagued with. I remember every single locomotive's got a problem. There's no perfectly running perfect train. I'm sure there's some crew out there that hated the locomotives for XYZ. Just some more than others, of course. But I remember the T1 for some reason having some sort of problem that people had a genuine reason to be upset about. But I don't know. That was like 3 years ago. I remember hearing about that, and I would be like speaking out of my, I don't know, whatever, speaking the nut out of my mouth right now, telling you that, oh yeah, it's because fill in the blank, right? It's because I couldn't achieve fill in the blank. It's because it's too heavy. So I don't know, but I'm excited to see it. But me being a DNH nut, I would have loved to see it spent to bring back a DNH locomotive. But that's just because I'm very biased. Let's see. We way down at this point. Oh, Charlie says 2 days until my 19th birthday. Well, happy birthday. Wait, where'd that stupid locomotive go? Get back over here. I guess I'm gonna try to do you a happy birthday on the horn. Get over here. Can you hear it escalate in speed? There you go. All right. Happy birthday to you. Wait. Happy birthday, dear Charles Trades. Happy birthday to you. There you go. I wish I could give you a birthday present, but for now that'll have to be my very cool shave and a haircut. All right. You go, Rail Chief 74 says, I always make sure to. Oh, yeah. So I guess back on the thing of channel advice, he just says, always make sure to be in my videos for layout updates, train shows, and unboxing reviews. But for running sessions, I let the trains doing the talking. There you go. Oh, LGR says, fixed stream. 1 second. I'm so close to being caught up with chat for the first time in ages. All right. Randall says, the T1 is different, and I like different. Joe says they want to see if the T1 with some adjustments could work better. High Iron posted a good video about the PRR duplex engines. And Berkshire Mainline says, hey, Corey, I know you have a Facebook, but what are your thoughts on making an Instagram? Well, I do have a private Instagram account as well. And technically, my Facebook one is also private, just kind of reserved for family and friends and all that. But I've always kind of thought of doing an R's Trains Instagram because I have seen several people on YouTube go to Instagram for model trains and it's done well for them. But I'm not really, and I kind of have to be careful because I was almost about to say, oh, wait, because I don't want to go to Instagram to be a clout chaser, but they weren't doing it for clout. But a lot of people, look at me, I really do sound like I'm doing an Instagram live here talking about clout and all that stuff. No, I'm laughing again. I can't breathe. One sec. I need the good old water. Here you go. But no, I've thought about doing an Instagram, but I tried it before just with other things and it never worked well. Again, another big hobby of mine is classic cars. I absolutely love classic cars. And I tried doing a photo/video page, which you can still find if you'd like to. I believe it's called Corey's Car Pics and all, but just never took off. And man, I was trying everything I could possibly think of. I was doing the hashtags, trying to do appropriate posts and all that, relating to said algorithms or whatever. But what I like about YouTube, and just you guys here, is that YouTube has much more of a community basis around it. I've never seen a community on Instagram. It's always just been, okay, post with 5 words and kind of picture. I'm not talking about trains. I'm just talking about in general, like, I don't know, stuff I consider to be loser stuff. So not even focused on like, oh, look at the wristband. Oh, look at the Stanley Cup. But kind of trendy things like that. I never just like, oh, look at this dance, dude. Like, it's not like you guys right now commenting here where we're having a genuine conversation. It's just cool pick, nice, or just somebody like send picture to blank, a little bot doing that. So YouTube, I've always liked more than Instagram because, well, not only have I been established here for much longer, but we have the community aspect to it. I just don't think you could go on Instagram, or maybe you can, I don't know, with model trains and kind of have the same kind of nice home felt, I don't know, fun that we're having here. Just that nice feeling to it too. That and YouTube reaches out to a lot more folks, I believe, than Instagram does. Fun fact, actually, I wanted to mention this here before I officially restart the stream. I got a comment earlier today, and I know I can't get back much of the comments anymore, and it kills me just because of time's sake and all, and I kind of fly under the radar and all. But I got one comment, luckily, while I was just on YouTube, looking around, and it was a nice lady saying that her and her 101-year-old father like watching the videos and all that. And I don't know, like, they love watching it on the TV and that stuff. And I don't know why that just made my day so I now know the youngest R's Trains fans are between like 2 and 3. And now I at least know my oldest fans, so to say, fan, whatever you want to call it, just person who at least enjoyed a few videos I did and all. It's at least 101 years old. So what can I say? That's about as wide age range as you can get on YouTube, I think, unless if one of y'all have somebody watching your videos who's 102. I think that's pretty much it. Let's see. Dang it, that's the problem that I got lost, fell behind in chat again. Berkshire Mainline says, Corey. Oh, wait, so that was about the Instagram. Shout out. Coolest birthday get. Let's see. Did you get the painting I sent you? No, I don't remember getting a painting. I don't know. Or I don't know. Maybe my mom might know. I'm not sure, but I don't recall. Maybe I don't know. I'd have to see with her, but maybe slash maybe not. But I think I'd probably know if you sent it. Like you probably would have signed it or something. That'd be like, oh yeah, that's from Charles. Real Chief 74 says we need an R's Trains for Facebook. I have been considering that, maybe an R's Trains page, but again, not as many. Although Facebook has an even, I'm sorry, YouTube, I don't mean to say this, but has an even greater community thing because I've seen so many things where it's like, oh yeah, fill in the blank XYZ, super long stories and people commenting and stuff like that. So it's at least just as equally uh, community built, so to say. You do get more people watching live streams, such on YouTube versus, oh yeah, Instagram and Facebook, yeah. LGR says, make hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts. I did a long time ago. Does anybody here remember the R's Trains hats? My failed marketing idea that made me very sad. For those who don't know and might be a little newer to the channel, I believe in 2021, I had made R's Trains hats. I always wanted to do a little merchandise thing, so I decided to make 50 hats. And I believe I only sold 10, or maybe like 18. And the reason why is it was all my fault, is because it was terribly marketed. What happened was this: I only introduced it in one post in a video, and the video didn't get many views. Today, it's probably like one of my least viewed videos ever. So I have a little billboard above the Yogids layout, and that was it. And I kind of just felt that was again a my fault thing, but that was, kind of a. I thought it was going to do super well, and then it was. And I'm being honest with you here because I know a lot of people in the comments are like, "Oh, I've always wanted to try merch," and my feedback is be very, very careful. You don't want to lose your money on it. Luckily, for the longest time, I called it hat debt or what have you, but I got out of hat debt and all. And I don't know how many R's Trains hats I still have, but I know I still have several that are in their box still never to be seen again or whatever. I mean, hey, I don't know, maybe I restart it or something. But I always wished I could get higher quality hats though, because the hats I did put out were kind of cotton ones and all, and they were all right. But I've always liked the kind of, I don't have it, but the Saratoga, Corinth, and Hudson Railway hats. Again, the train that I work for, I love their hats. They're so cool. Like really good quality in the last year, good wow. Plus, I love the trucker caps with the front there and the screening on the back. I would love an R's Trains cap like that, but that you got to be careful with the shirts and t-shirts and the hats and all that stuff because it might be a lot of fun, but you got to kind of watch out if you're doing a where you're buying it, getting shipped to you, and then you're selling things out and all. But unless if it's like I think us, a lot of you guys, whoever here has a merch line of their own they'd like to plug, go ahead. But I think a Teespring will let you do merch to where you don't have to like set in a amount of like, all right, I would need to order 50 blanks. It's kind of a as need or as ordered thing. I can't remember what you call it, but something like that. Yeah, Joe says I remember that. Oh, Clyde says I have my hat and it's my favorite. Well, thank you. Well, I still got my hat, of course. I still got the beanie too, but I don't know where it went. That was my favorite beanie. Isaiah says I remember the merch line. Yep. Trainer Nice says Corey, the hats were amazing. Well, I don't have one myself. I can tell you right now, those sounded amazing. Yep, Dad says, yeah, okay, I've seen Dad wear the Orange Trains hat. LGR says open up a Teespring store. Maybe if I ever hit like 10K, I'd consider it, but I ain't hitting 10K anytime soon. Ed, I agree with you on that comment like 99%. Says Instagram is a lifeless collection of pics and videos. Nice to look at, but has no soul. I agree. YouTube is where the fun's at. Cam says, "Where can I buy your hat?" Well, unfortunately, I had them on eBay for the longest time, but again, since I had only sold under 20, I eventually they kind of hit their limit to where eBay was like, "All right, you can put them up for another said days." I'm like, "All right, I don't think I am." So maybe I might put them back up on eBay, but I don't know. I know a lot of people here don't have eBay and they're kind of skeptical about it because, oh, I might get scammed and XYZ, and I can understand, but and that in eBay, it's not like, going to buy something off of Amazon or something that's reputable. It's like Amazon or even Teespring or what have you. So I can understand the concern. Although that was for the longest time how I sold that. That and yeah, I think I can't remember if I sold ours train shirts or not. I definitely had them printed and then occasionally would hand them out if I ever ran into a fan at a train show and all. But those were very limited. He says, "Oh, I someone was gonna ask this at some point, and he says it right there." So he says, "Are you going to be at Amherst?" For those who don't know, the in Springfield, Massachusetts, or just outside of Springfield, Mass, the Amherst Railway Society's great big train show, the Amherst Train Show. I think it's taking place in late June, and of course, biggest train show there is in like the Northeast, probably, or at least best one in my opinion. I have been debating that all week. It's been a question that's been on my mind all this past week. If I can be this week and the weeks going up to it, but I got to make a decision soon of whether or not I'm going to Amherst. I'm sure many of you are going to be going to Amherst too. And as much as I'd love to go, I've been going for like the years they have do it, not counting COVID, of course, but I've been doing it like ever. I did it in probably late 2018, 2019, did it in 2020 because I was pre-pandemic. They didn't have any 2021. They had I don't know if they had 22 either. I don't think they did. I can't remember, but they had 23. And I'm kind of debating going this year because what's been for me, keep in mind, I'm looking for D&H stuff, but what it's kind of been the past few times is certain, I don't mean to sound like this way, but it's just kind of been the same layouts and vendors every time to where, oh, it's great to see the same layout again. Not in like a bad way, but it's just you're kind of looking for something new. Like it'd be awesome if I could bring Littleville over there because I think people would get a kick out of seeing in a giant train show something so little, of course. But I don't know. That's a question I'm gonna have that's gonna be on my mind for the next 2 days, and I will do a post announcement on YouTube here whether I am to whether if I am or am not going to the show. But yeah, it's definitely on my head. Berkshire Mainline says all the ours trains merch is awesome. Personally, I say bring it back. Speaking of design and such, how did you design the logo? The shield design is awesome. Well, oh, thank you very much. That kind of is another thing I'd love about graphic design is designing merch and stuff. But the ours trains logo is a play off of the Delaware and Hudson logo. I'm debating if I'm just gonna take the caboose off. So for those that I can't really pull any good example up right now, but for those who know the D&H logo, the D&H. Oh wait, no. Let me just do this. One sec. I'll be right back. So the D&H logo is this. I can't remember when they came up with the shield, but I believe the shield they came up in when the 50s and 60s. But this is the D&H logo, an absolute classic. Now the logo, that's so now that you kind of just even see this in the R's Trains logo, it's almost like you can connect the dots. But what I wanted to do when making the R's Trains logo, there were several iterations actually. If anybody here has been on the channel long enough, you know that the channel's gone through technically three logos. The first one was a DNH, just literally just said the DNH or what have you. But I didn't like it because it's like, well, I could get copyrighted or whatever by Canadian Pacific. I don't know. But I wanted to have something that actually said ours trains, but I wanted it to play off of DNH because DNH is my absolute fave, as you can see all around me here. So the first ours trains logo, I wanted to do something that was tilted and kind of just looked modern, but still had that play on the DNH logo. So it's kind of hard tricky to talk about, but the DNH logo is obviously kind of rented, slanted going up. So the R's Trains logo, I did a different font, obviously, not in like this kind of script looking font, but yeah, I just did the big R because that's the first thing I wanted people to see. and then just a little R's trains, and I wanted the exclamation at the point because I wanted to convey kind of like that positive, fun energy. And then I had the two lines on the logo that were meant to represent tracks. So that was how I made the logo, but the colors were still in the yellow and blue for the D&H. And I was like, okay, although it's nice to have that, still, whenever you look at my old channel logo, it just looked like the D&H. It didn't have its own personality. So I was like, well, what's one color you don't see in the model train community that often, or at least on a big logo? And that was red. So that red was my favorite color. So you can kind of see why I went with a red, white, and black color scheme. It's what look. It's even the shirt I got on now. Oh look, it's even the shirt I got right. Oh look, I could have just pointed to this the whole time, but yeah, you can. It's like I'm Superman here all of a sudden, but yeah, you can kind of see I wanted to go with that kind of color combination and all. But yeah, that's how I made it, and that's what I love about the current logo, and I don't ever want to change it. It's just again become a favorite with me personally. Mom did a lot of the design into it. I kind of just did the kind of what gave her the ideas because I didn't know how to use Adobe Illustrator back then. But that's what I love. Like I could comment right now, and you can kind of individually tell, like, oh, it's ours trains, and that's what you can see about people here too. You know, like I don't mean to call anybody out, like, not an out, but like, LGR, I can immediately see the yellow with the black. I already know, okay, well, that's who those are. Heath has always had that classic logo, with the whole city and that stuff. So I could tell who that is. Or same with Joe. You can see immediately. Oh, I think my AirPods just died. The mic might have just changed there for a sec, so I apologize if it did. But that's what I always love about giving your channel a very colorful logo, at least if you can try, because it's something people can identify with you real quick, and it's just a nice thing to have for your brand if you are making a brand. But that's kind of how I came up with that. I saw a lot more people come in. So Dell Hudson, how you doing? I said, calling the Pan American. Hello, hello. Oh no, Siri, I'm not talking to you. Shush. No, go away. No. Okay, thank you. Let's see. So he says 2023 was great. Lots of people. Oh yeah, I'm sure 2024 is going to be a big year for the train show. I wouldn't be surprised at it. Well, I kind of would be surprised, but oh, Berkshire Mainline. I says I found your
Instagram. Sure, that's the car one, of course. It was a lot of fun. I just, again, love classic cars and love taking pictures of them. It's so much fun. But I wish I could always get involved in the car hobby, find someone to mentor with, and kind of learn things about classic cars and all. Because there's only so much pictures you can start to take before you really start to learn. Okay, I really want to get into an engine or something, or do I don't know, a whole tire change, or I don't know, work on an exhaust or something. I've always kind of wanted to tinker with stuff like that. All right. Anyways, open up a business, ours, custom signs. That would be fun. Ours chains, man. There you go. Then again, Carter too with the profile picture. I could always tell immediately right from the cloud and the front of Barry Thomas's face immediately who it is. There you go. Isaiah says, when I do some graphic designs, I don't use any Adobe softwares. I do most of my work on my iPad through various editing apps. Gotcha. Oh, hey! Oh, Harrison, SMT Mainline. What you doing? He says, what's your dream classic car? Well, that's a kind of tricky one. Because I think my favorite car is probably, I don't know, if I'm going off of my favorite, there's a lot of different ones I would like to choose from. But my favorite one is probably a 1955 Buick. And there's a good explanation why. What happened was in the, yeah, exactly, the GOT. It's like a new railroad device, the EOT, the GOT, the GOAT. There you go. But no, the reason why is my great-grandfather, who lived in Pennsylvania, had bought, did your microphone fall? Oh, uh-oh. Sound, have I been talking blank this whole time? A new railroad device, I think, okay, I think I hear it now. But, no, the reason... Okay, I think I sound good. But no, what I was saying is my great-grandfather had bought a 1955 Buick Special, I believe, brand new off the lot. and it had always become something I just always wanted. Kind of just because there were no pictures of it, only kind of vague family stories. Like you never could know anything much about the car besides its color and the fact that all my grandparents and my dad's cousins and stuff like that would all go for rides in it as a kid around the block and all. So kind of hearing those stories but not being able to fill in the blanks, it was like the only thing I had curiosity about. So that's always been a car I've wanted. But what I'm gonna do then, folks, is I'm gonna restart the stream. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end it here, restart the stream because I need to change the orientation because it's facing the wrong way. So I will be right back, everybody. I'll take a quick intermission and I will see you on the new Ars Trains pickup, and then we'll go start at the O scale layout. So I'll be right back, everybody.